Coke, and he's just getting warmed up. Richmond's Morning News with Rich Herrera. This is News Radio WRVA.
Wait a minute. Stop the presses, everybody. Stop the presses. No, kill the music. Kill it all. Stop it. I want to take a moment and stop the show for just a moment. And I want to thank Trenton for stepping up. He just purchased the last foursome for a golf tournament. We're raising money for Tunnel to Towers. It's all brought to you by Veterans Fire Protection. They stepped up the same way Trenton did. Trenton, you and I are going to go to lunch. Either you come over to the radio station, I'll give you a tour. And heck, if you want, come sit and do the morning show with me. You don't have to be here at 6 a.m., but if you want to come in, you're more than welcome. If not, I will go see you, and we're going to grab lunch. I just want to say thank you, Trenton. I just want to say thank you. This is tremendous. It means a lot. And I talk about this all the time, that my dad's legacy, and I've been able to continue this legacy, is just trying to make a difference, just giving back. In fact, Dave, you know what? I'm going to blow off the morning news brief. Do you mind? I'm going to blow this off because I want to say this. Trenton, you did something that a lot of people could do, but we don't. You just stepped up. That's all it takes, is just each of us just stepping up just a little bit, just reaching out, just doing whatever you can. I'm going to get all choked up thinking about my dad. But my dad was a humble, simple man. He didn't have a lot of money. He was a cop who worked two jobs. On the weekends, he would work at a nights on his days off. He'd work at a liquor store, because the guy who owned the liquor store knew that if he hired off-duty cops, nobody's going to come rob his liquor store. So all the police officers in the little town that I grew up in would work over at the liquor store. So, he was working all the time. I was going to school. We didn't get a chance to spend time together. So my mom would drop me off at the liquor store so I could go spend time with him. I just sit there while he was working the cash register. And then every once in a while, he'd give me little things to do. And he'd give me, he'd pay me in bubble gum and quarters. And I'd go bag ice for the ice machine, whatever. But he was just a simple man. Humble, like nobody's business, quiet, soft-spoken. But he was a huge hulky man. He was like 6'4", and he worked as a prison guard for a while. He's a police officer, and then it was public safety, the little tiny town we lived in. So he got to be a fireman, and I just remember him always wanting to make a difference. He started a police athletic league. Why? Because he got tired of seeing all these kids after school getting in trouble. Let me do something. What can we have them do? Nobody wanted to do anything. He goes, fine, I'll start it. And he's not a guy that goes out there and raises money. He's not like me where he's going to go talk in front of people. He's very shy. But he did it. And then the big thing was for him is he when he was a fireman, again, transferring from one side of the public safety department to the other. And when he was fireman, by the way, when I tell you this, Paul, there was only 2 firemen on duty at one time. And if there was a fire, they all had pagers, and the rest of the firemen would show up at the fire or a car accident. So he worked at this place. He worked in the spot that had a lot of car accidents, fatalities. One of the bloodiest portions of the highway system in California. And he'd show up all the time, and he'd see people die in front of him because all he had was a crowbar and a piece of metal to try to pull the cars apart to rescue people. And he just got tired of watching people die in front of him, but he couldn't help. So he came one day, he was just frustrated. He goes, tells the fire chief, why don't we have a jaws of life like they have in bigger places? Look at all these people that are dying, and I can't do anything. And the chief flippantly looked at him and goes, well, if you want one so bad, Herrera, you go buy it. Get out of my face. So my dad, humble man, again, migrant farm worker as a kid through high school, said, fine, I'll do it. And he did. He got everybody in that town to raise $10,000. And back then, this is like the late 70s. That's a lot of money. They had bake sales. They had barbecues. They had dances. He would go speak to the Rotary Club. Anybody who had $5, he'd go talk to them. And again, a very humble man. Never wanted, was complete opposite of me and my mom. Listen, you give me a mic, I'll sit there and talk for 20 minutes off the top of my head. He would be so nervous, but he would go and just ask these people to help donate. And he raised all the money for the Jaws of Life, and they ordered it. And the police chief got upset, and he ended up getting run off from the fire department, and he ended up becoming a Monterey County sheriff instead. And I told him, Dad, you're the richest man in the world because you made a difference. And he kind of gave that to me, my brother, and my sister, and we try to do things. And when we do these things like the community cookout, when we do the Wreaths Across America and this golf tournament, it just reminds me of what my dad did. And it's just little simple things. He wasn't going to stroke a check for $500,000. He was just going to put his time, talent, and whatever treasure he had towards these things. And Trent, you stepped up right away and said, listen, I'm going to do that. And that just that stepping up right there, buying that foursome, it means a lot. You know, we raised, I think we're going to get about more than $1,500 to Wreaths Across America last Saturday. It was me, my friend Matt, his wife Paige, my wife, and TJ Leonard saying, yeah, you could do this in front. And Chef came out, TJ came out, but it was just a bunch of people coming together. We, the people, have so much power to make differences in this country. And the fact, Trent, my dad's smiling right now, Trent. Because you stepped up in the way that he would. I told this story to somebody the other day. He got hurt. He was in a bad fight in the jail and had to retire, so he became a public health official. He was an investigator for the health department. He worked with people with tuberculosis. He found this man who was homeless on the streets, had TB, got to know him a little bit, found out that he was a veteran, but he could never get caught up with his benefits and all the money they owed him because he didn't have an address. So my dad said, listen, I'll help you get back on your feet. I'm going to put you up in a hotel when I could afford, because he didn't have, my dad didn't have any money. I'll put you up in the hotel. You get back on your feet. And he came to me and he took the TV out of my room. He goes, this man needs it more than you do. So, okay. So he got him back up on his feet. In a couple months, the guy's like, he's clean, he's sober, living in this hotel. And my dad would go bring him food every day because he didn't have any money to get food. So my dad, and he didn't want to give him cash because he wanted to make sure he was going to stay clean and sober. So he delivered food to this man every day. And one time he was out of town. He goes, hey, son, you got to go do it. So I went to this hotel, and I mean, it was Skid Row, but I went and I brought him food, and the guy opened up his door and told me all the stories about my dad. I've never seen a room that immaculate in my life. Everything was perfect in this flea bag hotel, to be quite honest. And he looked at his room and he goes, this is mine. I'm not living on the streets anymore. Thanks to your dad. Wow. Powerful. The man had a bucket list. He wanted to go see a baseball game at Dodger Stadium. My dad goes, okay, you know what? You're going to get paid a couple weeks. Tell you what, I'm going to get you a bus ticket. We'll send you down to Dodger Stadium. And he did. He went down to Dodger Stadium, saw the game. And on the way back, he died on the bus. Got to see Dodger Stadium. My dad never got paid back. My mom was mad, but he never got paid back. But I told him this when my dad was passing. I said, Dad, you're the richest man in the world. I know there's billionaires that are going to die alone because they didn't make a difference in this life. And I told him, because I sat with him his last couple hours before he passed. And I said, you're the richest man in the world. Your family's going to be here. You're going to have people lined up down the hall that you've affected their life by making that difference. And when you go, you're not going to be alone. I didn't know this. I just said it, just popped into my head, like much of this radio show. And when he passed, my mother, my brother, my sister, all his grandkids were there with him, and then down the hallway, it happened. There's like 30 people up and down the hallway. I said, you're the richest man in the world because you made a difference. So the reason I say this is when I ask you to get involved in these things, it's not me. It's just something my dad taught me. So Trenton, oh, brother, thank you. Oh, I can't wait to tell the rest of my family. And the reason you did it was because my dad taught me something when I was a kid. So thank you. And all the rest of you that want to make fun of me for crying, I don't care. I don't care. Because we're going to do some really great things this fall and into next year. And with this audience, you guys, you do a lot of great stuff that we're able to make this a better place. And we're able to make a difference. So thank all of you. Thanks to all of you. All right. Let me catch my breath here. But I apologize. I wanted to say thanks to Trenton and tell you how much that meant to me. Let's do this. Let me remind everybody as I catch my breath here. Today's program is brought to you by my friends at A+ Roofing. Saw Billy Kane. Actually, when Billy Kane and I first got together from A+ Roofing, he talked about his kids. I talked